Welcome back, y'all, to another episode of Tony Plays A Binding of Isaac. Hope everyone's doing good, everyone's chilling, going about their day nice and lovely. Today, I've decided we're going to be taking on Tainted Magdalene again. This time, we're going to be either doing the Beast or Mega Satan? Question mark? Why is he saying that like he don't know what he's talking about? Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we do. Anyways, hope you guys are doing well. Honestly, hope y'all are chilling, enjoying your days. I'm gonna be honest. Nice and lovely day today. A marvelous Sunday, one might say. You know, don't really got anything planned besides just probably playing Isaac. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, most likely gonna be playing a crap ton of zombies today. Alright, I'm very tired after my, not necessarily a long day yesterday, but I definitely, you know, since like 11 a.m. I've been out, got home kind of late, but then watched a movie, and I just wasn't even able to game at all yesterday, you know what I mean? Which isn't a bad thing. Once again, not a bad thing. I like hanging out with my friends and whatnot, but sometimes you want to play a game, you feel me? Sometimes you just want to play a game. And yesterday was one of those days where I was like, man, I could low-key game right now, you feel me? So yeah. Nothing too crazy going on, honestly. I am more so just decided, let's record Isaac, let's have some fun, let's have a good time, have a good day. And then let's just play the game, bro, you feel me? Let's just play the game. Ow, that was like a lot of damage. I don't like that. Marvelous Sunday time. But yeah, I'm gonna be real with y'all, you know, nothing really crazy going on right now. I'm kind of just chilling, enjoying. Hope you guys had a great weekend, honestly, or great, you know, whatever. Whatever days pass, whatever day you're watching this, you know what I mean? Just overall, hope y'all are doing good. Hope y'all are doing splendid, splendorous, one might say, or something like that. You feel me? Let's go. I'm gonna be real with you. I probably could have searched for the secret room. However, I am on borrowed time when it comes to like this current, this red heart right now, and I don't want to start losing spirit hearts. You feel me? So we need to start killing these creatures now. But yeah, just hope y'all are having a great weekend, great day, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I did enjoy me a nice little trip to the micro center yesterday. It was very nice, honestly, to go there and see what else was added. You guys know me, I'm always mad interested in PC parts and PC building and whatnot. Honestly, the only issue I've had recently in regards to that, I've complained about it earlier though, in an earlier episode, is PC parts are currently out the wazoo for no reason. Yeah, like every PC part, specifically, not every, actually, specifically RAM, is like crazy expensive as of late, and it sucks because my friend had like not a scare, I guess you would call it, but he made the decision to essentially be like, you know what, I'm going to upgrade my PC because there was an issue that happened that could potentially be blamed on the fact that it was an older PC, but the issue was resolved. However, the fact that it even happened to begin with is kind of like a wake-up call, you know what I mean? It's like all right, I gotta fix this though. I muted for a second, I'm sorry. I sneezed crazy hard. I didn't want y'all to hear it. And I wanted to make sure also that like I wasn't shotgunning another sneeze, you know what I mean? Like there wasn't another round in the chamber. So I had to pause real quick. Or at least I just mute myself, I should say. Alright, there we go. But yeah, man, honestly, it from someone who likes PC building, someone who's a fan, it sucks to see that RAM was like crazy expensive. You guys have no idea. You know, maybe you do have an idea, but if you are unaffiliated with the PC like building scene and whatnot, then you might find this next bit of news a little bit disturbing / distressing. I had gone with my friends. All right, we all went to Micro Center because my friend wanted to get a new motherboard, new CPU, and initially we had just wanted to choose AM5, obviously, you know. AM5 has been out for a while now. A lot of support for it. It's just overall like kind of, you know, the next gen CPU stuff and whatnot. So in our minds, we're kind of like, all right, let's get you some AM5 because that's going to be really good. You know, you're going to get some goodness out of it. It's going to be great. Nope. Turns out that's just not the case because AM5, you know, CPU prices for AM5, nothing too crazy. You can get some solid, you know, some solid, all right working stuff. The issue is DDR5 is the only thing that's compatible with AM5, not DDR4 RAM, which is the last generation of RAM, DDR4, but instead, because it's a new build, new AM5 motherboards only support AM5 PC, or, you know, like CPUs also only support AM5 DDR5 RAM, which not the worst thing in the world if this big if here, RAM wasn't insanely, and I mean insanely expensive as of right now. And you see, that's where this issue stems. That's where this giant issue comes in. My friend, who we were hoping we could get some Black Friday deals or something, and we did get some Black Friday deals at the regular Micro Center for, like, you know, normal PC parts. But as soon as we were interested and we started looking at the RAM DDR5, because we were like, hey, you know what, let's go here in person. Maybe we might actually be able to find some solid DDR5 deals. Nope, it's just an impossibility. There was 64 gigabytes of RAM, okay? Me and my friend, we saw a 2-stick 64 gigs of RAM, 232, all right? 232 gigabyte RAM sticks. DDR5, I think it went up to like 6,000 megahertz, which is, you know, it's solid. On sale, all right? On sale. I can't believe I'm about to say this. $749. And you don't believe me? You don't fucking believe me? You're like, Tony, it was not $749 for 2 sticks of RAM totaling 64 gigabytes. Nah, I'm not fucking around. All right. All right. Hold on here. I'm going to pull it up. I will throw up an image of this stupid BS on screen right now, dog. It's no joke. It's no joke, bro. DDR5 564 gigabyte? No, it's not what I wanted. Crucial. My God, man. Black Friday deals. Yeah, my nuts, dog. It's just like, why is it so expensive? You know what I mean? For what purpose? What are we doing? All right. I can't find the 700 one. Oh, wait, hold on. Just found it. Just found it right here. Just found it right here. Marked down, by the way. On sale. You save $100. You save $100 because it's marked down. I am gonna get this image right here, dog. And I'm just gonna, like, I'm gonna throw it up on the screen for a second at this part of the recording. You can't look at that, all right? You cannot look at that and tell me this is okay. It's just, it's horrible. It's horrible. Why is DDR5 so expensive? DDR4 also being kind of expensive as well. Nothing like, you know, looking at prices, I'm none too appeased, none too pleased, but at least the thing is, me and my friend, we came to the decision for his PC build of, you know what, man, DDR4, as unfortunate as it is that this is what we have to use because of DDR5 prices, and we can just reuse your old stick of RAM. And so that's the move. That's the move, is we're just gonna reuse his old 32 gigabytes of RAM. Because you can't do DDR4 or DDR5 efficiently or not efficiently, affordably right now. And it's so like, oh my God. So it sucked. I'm going to be honest with you, looking at that with my own eyes, being at the store, I saw a lot of cool things there. All right? I saw some like OLED monitors on sale for like nothing too crazy. It was kind of, you know, solidly priced. And I was looking at them and I was like, man, these are really cool. I'd maybe get an OLED myself if I ever decided to want to, what's the word? Not pig out, because that's like when you eat. What's the word for like spending a lot of money on yourself? You know, if I ever wanted to like ball out or something, bro, then I would maybe get myself like one of these OLED monitors. You feel me? But I'm fine with the monitor I have now. I mean, hell, you know, both of these monitors I own, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I have never, I think, ever bought a monitor myself since the year 2019, where I bought a monitor off of my uncle for $60, and I have never bought any monitor since. Any monitor I've ever received has been a gift. And so my brother got me one of these monitors, and my friend got me the actually the friend I went to Micro Center with, he got me this other monitor. So if I ever decided, you know what, man, F it, I want to either be A, the worst friend ever and ask us this for a Christmas present, or B, I decided, you know what, man, my setup needs an upgrade and I have enough money to afford to do this, then yeah, I'm gonna ball out and I'm gonna get like one of these OLEDs. But as it sits now, I'm fine with the monitor I have. Okay, I'm fine with the monitor I have. I'm not that kind of person where I need the top of the line. I need to make sure like my freaking monitor's got like sucking me off or something, you know? Like, I don't fucking care, bro. As long as it plays games and the games don't look like utter dog shit, we're fine. I don't even need like a 4K monitor. I'm gonna be honest. Oh, Tony, you don't know, bro. 4K, that's where it's at, dude. Once you go 4K, you never go back. Nah, dog. 1440p, no joke, might be like my peak. And that's not a lie either. I think as of right now, and I don't see any time in the foreseeable future where I look past the prices and I'm just, you know, I decide to not get I decide to get a 4K like a monitor or something. For games and stuff like that, I would much rather just have 2K or 1440p, and I'll just have like a high refresh rate monitor or something. I don't want to, you know, get 4K OLED, 240 hertz, and then it's like $1,500 monitor. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that, dog. I would rather just take 1440p because to me that looks good. You know, to me personally, 1440p looks good. It's nice, genuinely. I enjoy it, so that's all that really matters, right? As long as I enjoy it or something like that. I don't know. That might be copium, as they call it. But overall, man, all right. And you might be okay. One more thing. All right, I forgot to acknowledge this. You could be like Tony, to argue, you're cherry picking. You know, you just picked the highest, most expensive RAM you could find. No joke, I could barely find a suitable DDR5 RAM that wasn't 400 plus, or at least like 200 plus. 250 plus, more like, actually. You might be thinking, what's wrong with spending $200 on RAM? One, it wasn't it didn't used to be that bad, all right? That's the one issue. Is that as someone who has been building PCs and not for a long time, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm a vet or nothing, but since 2020, essentially, I've been interested in the PC building game. You know, I've been in this for 5 years or whatever. Obviously, I still got a lot to learn. I'm not gonna claim that I know a lot, but compared to prices 5 years ago, compared to now, all right, I've seen GPUs go up, I've seen CPUs go up, I've seen RAM go up at this point, but it's just like, why so expensive? You know, why RAM? Of all things, why RAM? I know why. Like, once again, it's used for AI data centers, but it just doesn't make sense regardless. You feel me? I'm not gonna claim to understand AI. I'm not gonna claim to know what it is they're doing or how it is they're doing it, you know? Let's talk about butter sausage. You feel me? I'm not gonna claim to know any of this, all right? But what I will claim is I've seen the prices beforehand. They were never this bad. Now they are this bad. Now people don't want to buy it. So that's the issue with the fact that it is $200. Is it didn't used to be like that. Now that it is like that, no one wants to buy it. And that's what sucks. Is no one wants to buy it. Because no one wants to pay such an exorbitant fee for something that used to be not that bad, you know? It's unfortunate, man. Genuinely, that's really the easiest way I can break it down. It's just unfortunate pricing. And it sucks because you got people who want to build a PC who should essentially wait for God knows when hopefully things get better. Will they ever get better? Look, I don't know. I'm not here to, this is not what we're talking about. We're not talking about, will things get better? Okay? We're here to complain about freaking RAM prices and whatnot. It sucked, okay? It sucked, but it is what it is. We came in knowing we weren't gonna buy RAM. I was still upset when I saw that RAM was crazily priced, but that's just because, I mean, can you blame me? You know what I mean? I'm over here thinking about like the good times when you could buy 32 gigs of RAM for like 150 bucks, you know? Now if you want to buy 32 gigs, it's like cough up 400 bucks, little bro. I'm not doing that. Hello? Oh, that was the most criminal case of that ever, dog. Nah, that was criminal. Hello? Why isn't he like, I'm trying to have the holy light come and strike his ass down. You feel me? You know, other than for the fact that it contributes to Seraphim, yeah, let's get it. I'm gonna lose my boner heart. No, I'm not. Hello? I don't lose that right away? That's really cool. They should change that. Guy who got something in his favor, they should change that so no one else can abuse it except for me. Oh, but yeah, dude, it just, I didn't end up buying anything at Micro Center besides like helping my brother get a Wi-Fi mesh because he's got some like current internet issues. It just, you know, that's the way it happens. Sometimes your Wi-Fi access points aren't exactly the greatest, so thought I'd help him set up. I didn't help him set up, but you know, I helped him choose out one that would be suitable. Fine, you know, solid. We've been there, okay. And then we just kind of dipped. We just kind of dipped from Micro Center, decided, you know what, let's take a little trip to a retro store, however. All right, this is where my favorite part of my day comes in, all right? So we decide, let's take a little trip to the retro store, you feel me? Let's take a trip, let's take a gander, see what they got, see what's going on. Now, personally, all right, I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret, a little coming and going of Tony's life at the moment here. I have been always very interested in the Pokemon franchise. I'm pretty sure I've talked about the shiny Pokemon thing in the King Crimson episode. So, I've been shiny hunting. I finally got a shiny Torchic using not nefarious methods, but like I guess more guaranteed methods or whatever. It's great. It's awesome. I love having a shiny Torchic. It's really cool. I still need to EV train his ass, so he hasn't really been used yet outside of the first route until I decided let me just get a Macho brace. But I will say this, okay? I will say one thing. That one thing being, I have been super interested in playing Pokemon again because a friend of mine is currently getting his like first playthrough of Pokemon Red, specifically Fire Red. But in my mind, all right, in my heart of hearts, I'm like, I would wish he played the OG games, the original Red, because that wasn't my introduction, but that was one of my first, what's it called? I don't even know, I guess, how you describe it. It wasn't like, it was a positive experience, but that's not what I'd call it. I just love the game, all right? I have like an emotional connection to that game. And so I love it. Obviously, I'm like, friend, you should play this, you know, whatever. Does he? His choice. That was like so leaning to being right there. See, it even could have been there. And so, because of that, I decided to replay some Gen 3 because I decided, you know what? Watching my friend play Fire Red, this is really cool. I really want to play... What's it called? I really want to play this game. Wow. Now, I will tell you, all right? This is where things get a little crazy, perhaps. I will tell y'all. While watching my friend play Gen 3, or specifically the Fire Red remake, watching him go through the Pokemon journey and whatnot had like ignited something in me, bro. Not only did I go shiny hunting for the first time in forever and actually get shiny Torchic, but there was this part of me that was like, dog, look at your collection, all right? And if you are unaware, I don't necessarily have a Pokemon collection, but when I had got a 3DS, I decided, you know what, I kind of want to like pick up some Pokemon games, perhaps. Maybe take on the journey of becoming a Ribbon Master or whatever. So I decided I got Pokemon Y. I got, what was it? I forgot. Oh, I remember I went to GameStop. This is a while back when they still had, like, when, you know, GameStop still had these. I found a copy of Pokemon Pearl and Platinum at GameStop. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll buy that. And then Gen 4, I remembered my cousin used to own a copy of Heart Gold, but the thing is, he has like kind of grown out of video games, you know what I mean? Doesn't really play them anymore. So I remember like hitting him up and I was like, hey, I don't know if you still have it, but do you have this copy of Pokemon Heart Gold still? And he was like, let me look. Oh yeah, I got it. Why? And I was like, you know, if you're not using it, do you mind if I have it? And he was like, yeah, sure. So cop Pokemon Heart Gold from my cousin, you know? Absolutely goated in my opinion. Considering, if I'm going to be honest with you, I think that was going to be one of the more expensive Pokemon purchases, was trying to get a copy of Heart Gold. Actually managed to get it. I feel happy. All right, I'm good. And then I'm pretty sure I've already told the story too, but like my brother got me a copy of Original Red before one of my birthdays to take on me to take with me on a family trip for camping for my birthday. So while I was camping, I was over here playing the ever living hell out of Pokemon Red, and I'm pretty sure I beat it by the time we got back from camping. I'm pretty sure I'd already beaten the game. I love Pokemon Red. I got an emotional attachment to that game because of that, you know, because of that that scenario, that what happened with my brother giving it to me before a long trip and all. Absolutely go to game. I love it. Not only that though, all right, not only that, but on top of that, me and my brother, unfortunately, this is like a sad story. Me and my brother used to have a copy of Pokemon Silver, but it had a battery issue, so it couldn't hold the save file. And the thing is, at that point in time, we were kind of young. We didn't really know how shit like that worked. So, unfortunately, I think he ended up getting rid of it. So, you know, I think that now in the modern time, you could say, oh, okay, a dead battery issue, that's kind of like a more easier fix, or you could get that fixed. You know, it's not irreparable, but it was already too late. By the time that we had learned about this and the time that we started like caring more, it had already been too late. I think we'd already had gotten rid of it, which sucked, because unfortunately that would have been my only copy of Gen 2. Now, and I've already had, for a while now, a copy of Pokemon Emerald because my brother used to play the fuck out of it. But we lost said copy of Pokemon Emerald to I don't even know where. However, what we were able to do was quote unquote like make it back, I guess you would call it. Because, and I'm gonna tell a story here, and you gotta realize this is middle school, early middle school Tony, and I am a different human now. I would say I'm a better human now, okay? Might be thinking, Tony, what could you possibly have done? All right, so I remember early middle school Tony, all right? I remember I had brought to school my Game Boy and showed off to my friends. Hey, look at all this sick Pokemon I got. And they were like, yo, dude, that's awesome. How did you get that? Because it was already our already completed level 100 Blaziken Pokemon Emerald save file. And so my brother had just decided, you know what, man, now that I got all this, I'm gonna just action replay and just get the unobtainable stuff. Do I blame him? Not in the slightest. That was like low-key a cracked decision, because like, why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? It's these are unobtainable mons due to like events that might have been out of our control or like we were unaware of. We're getting these one way or another, you feel me? That's like that's the sentiment going on here. And so I respect my brother's decision to lock in and just be like, you know what, bro, just hack the mons in. So we ended up getting a Jirachi and a Deoxys. That's also, but I remember showing this off to my friends, all right? And just being like, them being like, dude, this is so cool. How'd you get that? And, you know, I remember telling them like, oh yeah, my brother, you know, my brother, he like found a way to get this. And so my friends had let me know. They were like, hey, I will pay you like $5-10. It wasn't any, I didn't rob these people, okay? I will pay you like $5-10 if you can go, you know, you take my copy of Pokemon and you add these Pokemon onto it, like onto the cartridge or whatever, and then give it back. And I was like, yeah, sure. I'll let you guys know when I next like go over to like my family's house in LA, which is where we did that, because I don't think my brother had a DS, but my cousin did. It's to like action replay that shit, you know? And so we did that. I did that, I should say. I took the money, took their cartridge, and I don't know, God knows when the next time we ended up going to LA was. Did I remember to bring the cartridge? No, not at all. Literally, not at all. Oh, I was supposed to fight. Okay, looks like we're doing Mega Satan today. I was gonna do Beast, but looks like we're doing Mega Satan. Did I remember to take the Pokemon with me when I went to my cousin's next? No. Did my friends remember to ask me about it? No. And so over the course of just multiple years, as I grew distant from these friends, as time does, you know, people move away, people go to different schools, and you just stop talking or whatnot. At the end of it all, I had wound up with Pokemon Emerald, Pokemon Ruby, and Pokemon Sapphire. And I guess they never got them back. So yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, hearing that story, in my mind, repeating that story, I feel bad, because I'm like, I just robbed these kids, you know? In my mind, I'm like, I just robbed these kids of their Pokemon copies. However, I also like I don't know how to get it back to them, bro, you feel me? So I don't know, you feel me? Like I'm like stuck in an impasse of my morals here. Yeah, that's the story. So because of that, I now have one of every copy of Gen 3. I have an Emerald, a Ruby, and a Sapphire. I managed to never lose those, although me and my brother somehow managed to lose our original copy of Emerald with everything on it. So yeah, that sucks. It's a level 4 bandage girl. Oh my god. Oh my god, I didn't even realize that was death, dude. I didn't even realize that was death. I haven't seen a level 4 bandage girl in forever, dog. I usually always get like Conquest or something, but now we actually got like a goat putting in some work here. You feel me? Thank you, Bandage Woman. Do I really need to go hush? Not really. Let's just go up. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I feel like a dickhead. I feel like an a-hole. You know, robbing kids of their copies of Pokemon isn't necessarily something I do on my you know, off days or whatever. It's not something I do often, but it is something that I did back in middle school. And do I feel bad about it? Yes, it's a fucking dickhead move. But that's what I did, all right? I don't know how to really... I don't really know how else to say it besides the past is the past and it happened, you know? That's on me. Besides that though, alright? Besides robbing kids of their copy of Pokemon, I now own, you know, this. I own all of Generation 3 games. Except for, me and my brother never had, what's it called? Me and my brother never had Fire Red or Leaf Green, because we always had that original copy of Red. Now, I don't know if you guys are necessarily picking up what I'm putting down here, but you might start to notice that I've kind of have like a lot of games, a lot of these Pokemon games, and that's what I had noticed as well. And so I decided, why not just try and commit? Why not try and get it all? So I currently, all right, before yesterday, I should say, I had a copy of Pokemon Y, copy of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. It was Shining Pearl. It was Shining Pearl because it's the pink one. I have a copy of Pokemon Y. I have a copy of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. I have Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I have Scarlet. I have Shield. I have Red. I have Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. I have Heart Gold. I have Pearl. I have Platinum. Might be noticing here, I have a physical copy of one of every generation, and the remakes, except for Black 2, Black 1, White 1, Black 2, White 2. I don't have any of the Gen 5 games. And not only that, or actually I do have I bought a copy of Pokemon Black. I don't know where it is. So, got all that, all right? All that. And I decided, why not, you know, finish it up at least, you know? And so I decided, let's go to the retro store. I've been watching my friends play a whole bunch of Pokemon recently. Let's see what they got. And what do I see in front of my eyes other than a legitimate cartridge copy of Pokemon fucking, what's it called? Fire Red, all right? Just straight up, I just see a copy of Pokemon Fire Red right then and there, right in front of my face. And I decide, you know what, man? I'm gonna do it. I've been watching my friends play it, and it's the only Gen 3 game I'm missing is the remakes. Let me buy Fire Red. Bought it. Not gonna lie, all right? It wasn't crazy, more expensive than like you would probably buy retail, you feel me? But I didn't like, you know, I didn't have to like sell my left kidney for it. You can't give me Curse of the Unknown 2 runs in a row, or like 2 like things in a row. That's actually like the most criminal thing a human can do. This is really bad because I actually have no idea what my health could even be, you know? Dude, and I'm taking like the worst damage on planet Earth. I will say, luckily I do have Wafer now, so I think I'm good, but I can't know, you know? There's no way for me to know this info. Oh my god, and I'm taking like dog shit damage, dude. I'm such a moron. And my speed stat is horrible, dog. And I got a range up from Purity, dude. This game sucks. Let's go. We won't know. There's no way for us to possibly know what our health is. Let's just try. All right, let's just try. We'll have Bandage Girl do the crux of the damage. And we just gotta hope that we're at least in a decent spot. That was the worst damage I think I could have ever got there. I was totally out of its range too. That's, I think, what makes it even more brain dead. I'm gonna die. There's no way I'm living this, right? You see my damage? This run isn't even remotely good. I just survived. That's all I've done. I've just survived, but this is not a good run. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. But yeah, I decide, you know what, F it. I'm gonna get myself a copy of Pokemon Fire Red. While I'm there, all right, while I'm there, I see that this retro store has more games than when I last went to it, and so I decided to look around and I see a copy of Pokemon Crystal. However, it was in box, like Pokemon Crystal. Guess how much it was? It was what? Maybe I think it was like 400 bucks. And so I was like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that, dog. That's a lot of money. But I did decide, you know what? I do kind of got an idea though. Never hurts to ask, fellas, all right? I decided, hey man, I see here you got a copy of Pokemon Crystal. I've been kind of looking for it. I don't know if you would happen to know. Do you have a original copy? Like no, what's the word I'm thinking of? No reproduction, just copy of Pokemon Crystal. But also without the box or anything, just the cartridge. That's all I want. All I want is the cartridge, all right? I would only ever look for original packaging for a game that I am like deeply in love with, such as Metroid Fusion or Prime. But like, I am perfectly okay with just, I love Pokemon Crystal, I love second gen, but I am perfectly okay with a simple cartridge. That was the worst damage. I had to mute my mic, man. I was sneezing. Reminder to never do anything in the Binding of Isaac, dog. They just fucking skin you for it. Okay, hold on. Okay, my bad. It's just, I'm gonna die. I'm at half a heart. I'm at half a heart. I'm at half a heart. That's what that means. I'm at half a heart, bro. But what's the word I'm thinking of, man? Yeah, it's just it's bad is what it is. Bad, kind of buns. But yeah, I decided to ask the guy. I'm like, you know what, man? Hey, I don't know if you'd happen to have this copy. He just said, let me take a little look around. Let me check. I think I might. Boom. From the little like back cabinet he had, pulls out a copy of Pokemon Crystal. And maybe he was just saying this to kind of like sweeten the works, you know what I mean? Trying to grease the wheels a little bit to secure this sale. But he was like, I don't know if I'm ready to let go of this game yet though, man, you know? And I'm not gonna lie to you, all right? In my mind, I was like, understand, 100%, Pokemon Crystal, sought after game. I understand not being wanted to, able to get rid of it. But it'd be really cool if I was able to catch it, you know what I mean? And he said, let me check the save file, see if it's got anything good. If it does, then, you know, if it doesn't have a good save file, though, I'll probably give it to you. Plugs it into a Game Boy, messing around a little bit, checks the Pokemon Pokedex. Only ever caught 2 Pokemon, and it was a Totodile and a Hoot Hoot. And it was just like, you know what, man? Let me check real quick. I'm assuming goes online to check how much does it roughly go for. Checks the price, and he's like, all right, I can give it to you for, this much, like 1 something. And I'm just like, you know what, man? You got a deal. And so I secured me a copy of Pokemon Crystal. Now, the reason why you might think, you know, why I might think he was saying that original statement to like sweeten the deal or whatever, is it makes it seem like he's cutting me a break. You know what I mean? Where he's like, I don't know if I want to get rid of it. She checks and he's like, all right, you know what, man, you can have it. It makes me feel like I've been given an opportunity to buy it now. And so it's like, oh, opportunity strikes at the door. Take it. I go for it. Did it work? Yes, 100,000%. I mean, I bought the game after all. But I gotta say, I was filled with joy and whimsy, bro. Upon grabbing those games, I was filled with such joy and whimsy that I was just like, I gotta, like, I'm just, this is go. This might be the highlight of the year, low key. Probably not. I mean, not the highlight of the year, but I was just like, damn, man, this is sick as hell. If you guys know me, I love Pokemon. I love Pokemon Emerald. I love Gen 3 a lot. It was my first ever Pokemon game. And Gen 1 was my second ever like Pokemon franchise that I played, but something about Gen 2. When I first played Gen 2, it was it was amazing, dog. All right? It was fucking awesome. It was great. Something about being able to, I guess, minor spoilers for Pokemon Generation 2 if you never played it. Something about going to a whole new area, but then after beating everything in this whole new area, discovering, oh yeah, by the way, this region and the last game's region are just straight up connected, like at the hip. Essentially making Johto and Hoenn, like, you know, like neighbors, but also the fact that, yeah, and you can just go to not Hoenn, Kanto, making Johto and Kanto neighbors, and then essentially just being, oh yeah, by the way, now that you beat the game, you can just go to Kanto and play even more of the game. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I was like, this is cinema. This is peak. So although I love me I love, all right, love Gen 3, first ever generation of Pokemon I played, you know, understandable. It's got like that, not recency bias, but it's like I enjoy it because it's my first introduction to the franchise. Not only does it got that going for it, but just the fact that second gen even had first gen in it, a gen that I have an emotional attachment to, once again, after, you know, letting you guys know multiple times. I have this connection with Gen 1, and then being able to just essentially be like, oh yeah, you get to just experience Gen 1 again also. I was just like, man, this game is peak. This is goated. I will say the scaling definitely has got an issue, all right? Some areas of that game are like, nah, you should not be this, like, what's the word I'm thinking of? You should not, like, why do I have to grind so much for this? This is kind of like cringe. Oh my god, I forgot I had that thing where I can like push out stuff. Hold on, let me take a sip of my coffee, bro. Have mercy on my soul. All right, but I will say 100%, 100,000%, I will say, dog, Gen 2 is my favorite, and the fact that I'm able to get a physical copy of the actual like Gen 2 game, I was just like, man, this is kind of goated. You feel me? In my heart of hearts, I'm like, this is kind of cooking. And honestly, what makes it even better slash cooler or whatever is the fact that it's a physical copy of a generation that me and my brother used to own, but had a small issue with due to the whole battery thing. Now I'm able to like replace that. I'm able to fix that, bro, essentially. It's truly something to marvel at, in my opinion. I think it's great, all right? I think it's great, personally. But I understand if people are kind of like, oh, cringe, or like, oh, what the hell? You know? Who buys physical games anymore or something like that? It's just like, I understand, you know? I get you, bro. Dude, oh my god, what was that? Can we be honest? What was that? That was the worst fight of my life. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy, I greatly appreciate it. Hope you guys have a good day and or good night, depending on the time reviewing this. Catch you on the next one. Peace out.